Hello YouTube, Camodo Gaming here, playing some more Scrap Mechanic. Today is going to be a viewer creation. Now this is by a channel that I've become a fan of. I've been subbed to him for about 1 month now, and his name is Retro Specs, and he's just kind of got this really neat theme going on with his channel. He does a lot of Scrap Mechanic, so he's got some really unique builds, but they all seem to have this kind of retro theme to them, and I absolutely love it, and he's got two fantastic creations here. Now, one of these creations is using the Gray Go mod. It's this Batmobile monster truck, and this big, or I wouldn't even say big rig, I want to say like monster rig, is using just the vanilla parts. First one we're going to check out is the Batmobile here. Now, this thing is pretty spot on. I know a lot of you are probably not familiar with the old, we're going to call it, I think it's the late, and actually it might have been mid-60s, mid to late 60s Batman television show, and actually I'm getting a little bit of lag here. Let me throw this diesel back on the lift. It's definitely a beast. But yeah, this is from, I would say, I think it's the mid to late 60s. They had a TV show also. I think they had a made-for-TV movie. That's where I saw it from. And it's the Batmobile from that show. Now, I would say he's changed the original design just a little bit. He's got a huge motor in it. Let me try to get up on a lift here and I can show you, because this thing is just so tall. But yeah, look at that motor. That thing is a monster, and it's the detail on it. I mean, he's all about detail. It's so fantastic looking. Like, there's just everything. I know a lot of it is the Gray Go mod. I've never actually really played with it. I tend to not do that on my builds because I like to keep everything vanilla, especially if I'm going to put them up for download. It makes it easier on you guys. But a lot of these parts I haven't seen before, but I can tell you can put a lot of detail here. I mean, look at these wheels. These wheels are absolutely huge. He's got like a little hitch or a hook on here. It's got, of course, you got to have the thrusters. It's a Batmobile. You can't have a Batmobile without thrusters. Absolutely digging those big wings in the back. I mean, it looks pretty darn spot on with the Batmobile in the TV show. Now, we're about to take this for a drive here. I'm going to go ahead and delete the big rig real quick. It causes a little bit of lag when both these vehicles are in the same world. They don't tend to get along. I would assume it's probably because they're both just absolutely massive vehicles. So let me go ahead and delete this one, and then we'll pop it back up when we're ready to use it. So, alright, going back to this, I'm glad I finally got the big rig out of the way. It was creating quite a bit of lag, but he's got a really unique suspension setup here. He's got the 3 suspension pieces, and he's got these curved blocks, and he's got 3 more down here. I don't know what that's really creating. I'm assuming it's creating a really soft ride. I know this thing is really tall, so I picture it flipping over quite a bit, but I could be completely wrong. Let's go ahead and get the lift out, and we'll climb up in here. Man, I love me some Batman, so this is definitely up my alley. Oh, I didn't actually see he's got the gas motors hidden under the fake one up here. That is really cool. So anyways, let's go ahead and play with some buttons here. I'm not sure what all this does, so. Okay, we've got the doors. I really like those doors. I guess it's the Gray Go. It actually makes the panels skinny. Kinda wish I had some of those. That looks like maybe that's a plow or something. I'm not really sure what that is. That's pretty cool. Let's see, what do we got here? No, those are the thrusters. You know what? I have the particles turned off again. Let me go ahead and stick those back on real quick. Alright, particles are back on. There we go. You gotta see, I mean, it's a Batmobile. You've gotta see those thrusters working. So we got those. That button's apparently not connected to anything. Okay. Alright, I think we're ready to go here. Let's go ahead and test this out a bit. This looks like it's gonna be really fun to drive. You know what? Actually, let me try to get up to speed here. Let me see if this thing tips over. And I'm also trying to figure, are those individual pieces on the side, those panels? I need to look at the Gray Go parts, but if they are, that is, I mean, the detail is just fantastic on this thing. Like, this is probably one of the most detailed vehicles I've ever seen then. You know, right now I'm running on a backup Scrap Mechanic because I need one to install this mod. That way I can look at some of these viewer creations. But, man, I might need to use this at some point. Now, this thing, let's see if we can get it to tip over here. I don't think it really wants to tip over. I mean, I just picture this thing being really top heavy. I don't know what the weight values are on these Gray Go parts. I'm assuming they're the same as the metal parts. but it doesn't seem like it. I mean, it doesn't really seem to want to tip over, which is really good. The suspension seems to be working really nice. And overall, it just looks fantastic. Let me go find an area maybe where we can try to use these thrusters. Thinking normally the outside area of the map is pretty flat, so let's go out there. I'd like to use these thrusters. See just how much power it gives them. You know, actually, I can feel the power there. And oh, you know what? That is a jump. Wonder if we can hit that. It looks like we might wind up into a tree if we jump it. You know what? We're gonna do it anyways. Alright, we are in position here to jump. I'm going to try to hit this jump. I'm not sure what the outcome's going to be because it looks like there's a rock and a tree on the other side, so I think I'm back about as far as I'm going to get without having to maneuver this thing. So let's go ahead and hit this, hit those thrusters, and let's try to launch this thing in the air, see what kind of air time we can get. And boom! There we go. Oh, actually, that's really awesome. Oh, here comes a tree. Boom. Yeah, this is a really cool vehicle. I'm thoroughly impressed by it. Now we're gonna go get the big rig here in a second. I'm gonna go ahead and take this thing around for a little while longer. Look at two-wheel. This is fun to drive. Like, some people were talking about, they wanted to see like monster trucks in my town, and I was like, well, the monster. I built one before, and I used the really big tire, and it just didn't really work. Like, I don't know, it's the scrap mechanic tire is really small, but this one's really big, so if I were to ever like go back and do like a big monster truck, maybe a couple of them, I would definitely be using this mod because there's really no way around it. Now this mod is actually working with the workshop beta. Grego, I think it's probably about 2 days ago. I mean, he's on point when it comes to like updating his mods to work with the latest version of the game, so I definitely want to give him a lot of credit because that's awesome. But yeah. Let's go ahead and check out the I'm gonna call it the monster rig. I think he just called it the big rig, but this thing is huge. So let's go look at that real quick. Alright, here is the big rig. I want to call this the monster rig. This thing is massive. Like, it's fantastic. It's basically a house on the inside. He wasn't kidding. Like, he was talking about, well, I've got a really huge big rig. You know, you can basically live out of it. I thought, okay, big rig with the camper on the back of it. You know, you got a little bed in there and maybe some sort of little fridge or something, but no, this is completely different now. He's got a really pretty cool design going here. He's got tons of wheels. It looks like maybe he's working on some sort of hitch, or maybe this is just for show, but I mean, if you had a big trailer, no telling what you can pull with this. Let me see, I don't know what we're working with power-wise. I want to guess, you know what, actually I can pop the hood here in a second and see. I don't know if those are gas engines or electric engines. Let's see. Go ahead and pop this off the lift real quick. Now let's open up the side door. He's all about detail. Like, he's got tons of detail on the inside. I mean, look at the dash. You've got the radios. You've got a little, this thing actually dangles. It's like one of those little car, like air fresheners. You've got a big shifter knob with a duck on it. Let me go ahead and jump in the front here. I think you can open up the hood here. His engine designs are absolutely awesome. Yeah, you can see, let me go ahead and, you can pop the front open here too. I mean, just look at the detail. That's awesome looking. Actually, like, I'm a little jealous of those. Those are really cool. I like to try to put engine detail, but I'm always dealing with limited amount of space, but he's got a huge amount of space here, and he's actually hiding, they are gas motors. He's got those. Now keep in mind, this vehicle here doesn't use any Grego parts. This is all completely vanilla. Now let me go ahead and give you a tour of the inside. Now, there's quite a bit of area in here. He's got up here, you can go upstairs, go ahead and climb up here. If you need to go to bed, he's got a nice sleeper up here. You got a television, and I'm actually bouncing around. Let me see if I can get my footing here and try to get up the stairs. He's got a little television, a little switch just there for show. Got a couple sunroof panels, those are actually really cool. But yeah, you can sleep up here, you got a little television. You can go ahead and pop this up. Looks like a microwave over here, pops open. Let's see, I know there's something here on the floor. Let me go ahead and put these up because I think it might block it. Actually, you know what, there's access to the engine panel down here, and wow, there's storage. I didn't actually see this the first time. A couple controllers. That is really neat. That's a very good use of space. Let's go ahead and hit this button. Ah, look at that, dining. You've got a dining area. That's really cool. You can just put it back down when you want to walk through. Looks like a couple of cupboards here. Get some little, I want to assume these are like food items and condiments. Let's go ahead and close those. And of course, which big rig with its own living quarters, it wouldn't be complete without a bathroom. Little tight area, you've got a little window in the back too, a vent, that's pretty cool. Like I said, it's excellent use of space here. I mean, I've never seen something like this and so compact, how you've got the table that comes out of the floor, you got the seats that come down. Really cool, but now here's the question, how does it drive? And this thing is huge. He had two versions of it. He had one with suspension and one without. I had to do the one without. Even on my computer, I was getting lag. And I need to pull it back out and see what he was doing suspension-wise to cause that. I don't know if it's all those back wheels. I mean, he's got literally in the back, he's got 12 back wheels and he's got the 2 in the front. So I'm not really sure what might have been causing it. Like, I'm even getting a little bit of lag here. Let me try moving this to another area. Maybe it's just the area I'm in. Alright, I went ahead and pulled out the one with the suspension just to see what he was working with. Looks like he's got the 3 suspension pieces on the front and he's got single suspension pieces on the back. So realistically, it's not that many. So I'm going to lower it back down. Maybe it was when I had the Batmobile out too. It just didn't like them that close together. You know, I'm getting a little bit of lag. Let's go ahead and drive it around and see what happens. See how bad it gets. Hopefully it's not too bad. There we go. Not bad at the moment. Seems like it's running okay. Those front wheels are really dancing around. It's got a really wide turning radius, and that does not surprise me one bit with how big it is. But it's doing pretty good actually, especially considering the size. I don't know if you would be able to put a trailer on here and drive around, but considering the size, it's doing a pretty good job. So let's go ahead and drive it around a little bit more. Just love the look. I love the red, white, and blue colors he's got on there. It's got like I would guess you can say it's a American theme, USA. I think he's from the UK. I can definitely tell his voice is really unique. I love listening to people from the UK. It's just like one of those things. I can listen to people from the UK just commentate over things. It's just fantastic. But yeah, let me go ahead and try to test this thing out a little bit. There's some bumps up here. I'm going to get to the edge of the map and maybe we can hit some of those. Let's get over here. But yeah, no real complaints about how it drives. I mean, it's really understandable how big it is. You know, it's not going to drive perfect, but it's definitely handling it okay. Now, as far as his future builds, he's talked to me a little bit about what he's got coming in the future, and it's going to be really cool. I just love the theme of the channel. I've said this before. It's just really cool with the retro. You know, occasionally he does play some retro games, which I'm really into retro games. I love them, even though it wasn't my time per se, but I can always go back and play me some retro games. Galagula, Dig Dug, stuff like that. But yeah, I love the theme of the channel. I mean, it's just really cool. And he's just really detail oriented. I just think it's a different type of channel when he does scrap mechanic. Like, he just has this theme that he kind of continues with, so really hope you guys will go check him out. He's doing some fantastic work, and I think we're going to about wrap it up here. There's really nothing else I can do with these vehicles besides play with them some more, and I could probably do that for quite a while. I do that with all my viewer creations. I kind of get carried away and realize, like, oh no, I need to cut a video. I did the same thing with the hover ship last time. I think I played with it for like 30 minutes or an hour before I even decided, alright, well maybe it's time to actually make this video and quit playing with it. It comes back to that being a kid at heart, but yeah. Anyways, let's go ahead and park this thing. I'm gonna go get some awesome screenshots of it, and hope you enjoyed this episode. Alright, tomorrow. Now, I need to finish this Turmoil series. I've got probably about 3, maybe 2 or 3 more episodes, depending on what happens. So I'm going to do that. You're going to get an episode of that tomorrow, and then I think Friday we're going to move, well actually I'm for sure Friday we're going to move to another town update. I don't want to give away what it's going to be, because I'm still kind of working on it. Definitely got some really cool plans for that, so hopefully you join us for that too. But yeah, hope you enjoyed the episode. If you have any viewer creations, you can go ahead and send them in. I'll have the email below. Definitely still taking some of these, and I don't take all of them off the workshop. A lot of times people have worlds that actually have buildings in them, and you can't share those yet, so if you still want to send those to me, I will definitely check them out. If not, you can point me in the direction of the workshop. Now, I do have that Steam group that I've created, so if you'd like to join that, it's definitely a place where I can communicate with you guys a little bit easier, since the comment section seems to swell now and it gets hard to comment and respond to everybody, and we can do some things together. I'm trying to figure out some things to do as a community, maybe some builds, get a couple of you guys in some of my worlds. I know the town's getting a little too big for people to actually run, so that's why I've been stripping some of those vehicles out. So I don't think I'd be able to do like a community thing in the town, because I don't think anybody can barely run it now, just how big it's got. So hopefully you join us for all that, and I will see you guys next time. Thank you.